Good morning, welcome back to Casa TexPina. It's Wednesday, that means, yeah, we're about halfway through the week-ish. So, today, guys, it's build day number 115. The guys are continuing to work on the fascia board, the wall cladding, and the welders are still working up on top, doing long welds and painting over those long welds after they're done. Also working on window molding for the large picture frame window in the back. Still doing some more plaster coating on the outside today. Over here on the north side of the house by the garage door opening, on either side of it, they're continuing to do plaster coat. Let's see, they pulled the forms off of the two fence posts. 2 or 3 fence posts that they poured yesterday afternoon. All of those look well. So they've already chipped the face on it so that it's ready for plaster coating when they go to thicken that up a little bit more to get it up to final size. I believe we should be seeing the air conditioning guys back this morning sometime to continue. When they show up, I'll show you where they're at. So my next step, I'm going to go walk you guys around and show you where everybody's working on today. So let's get started. Alright, so over here on the north side of the house, they've pulled the forms off of these concrete, the fence posts here. Of course, they're all concrete. Everything here is concrete. So they've already chipped up the face on it so that when they go to do the plaster coating on the end of it, it'll come out to full size and it accepts the plaster coat. Okay, plaster coating continues as well. Mr. Jericho up here is going to continue, start getting ready for plaster coating on this wall on the back side of the fence, of course. So on the front side of the garage bedroom, going over the top at some point, and then Mr. Ben is continuing where he left off yesterday afternoon with plaster coating that side wall there. They've got a couple helpers each running mortar back and forth to them. They have a large pile of mortar mix already made, so all they do is just keep pulling from it a little bit at a time. And they'll work on that throughout the day. Okay, let's take a walk around the front of the house, show you what's continuing up here. I know you saw a little bit of it when we were doing the intro. Okay, up on top we've got the welders up here inside of the front porch area. They're continuing to do long welds and supports for that hip roof coming out over the front porch area. Mr. Allen, one of our carpenters here, is continuing to do fascia board along the fiber cement fascia board all the way around the edges of the roof line. Those are being put in with pop rivets. I noticed him doing that yesterday. Asked the question about it. He goes, yeah, he's doing pre-drills, puts it into the metal, and then once he has the spot where he needs it, puts the pop rivet in there, uses the rivet hand tool, and uses those for securing. Okay, Mr. Anjo, or Jojo as he goes by, is continuing with the wall cladding that he's been working on. Let's see, what was it? Monday, Tuesday, and today he's going to continue over to this one here for the outside of bedroom number 3. Those are the 3 main accent walls that we're going to have on the front of the house. Okay, the door frame that they put on yesterday, they put the door frame in, I think it was Saturday. Yesterday they put in the mortar around the outside edges of it. So that is looking good so far. They will continue with this a little bit later as we go. So you notice it does have a lot of voids and gaps. When they put the additional mortar coat in, it has plenty of surface area to adhere to. Okay, so this is not yet finished by a long shot. So they're still working on this area. Let's go take a look back here in bedroom 3. The Jack and Jill bath is getting prepped for concrete today. Let's peek through bedroom number 2. So both of these, the lavatory here and the walk-in closet, floors were poured yesterday. Looks good to me. They do actually drain out of the area, but when they go to do the tile, they're going to make the floor drain this way into the sunken wet area. Okay, so same thing for over here where Mr. Carlito's working. No floor drain in this area, so they're going to make the floor drain this way, since there is a floor drain here and this is the sunken wet area. So they're getting these 2 areas prepped for concrete. We'll probably have concrete in here by the end. And then here on the back of the house, our foreman has his personal project going. He's doing the window molding all the way around the large picture window. So today he's going to be working on this top piece here. He finished these 2 yesterday afternoon and redid the edge up here on the bottom. So that was all taken care of yesterday. All right, let's go take a walk around, see what people are doing mid-morning, post-merienda. Still working on plaster coating here on the north side of the house. So Mr. Jericho is working over the garage bedroom, and Mr. Ben is working on the bottom half. They're still rough coating this, so we still got a little bit of ways to go on this. They're going to come back at it with a screed here in a little while, and then finish up after that. Also in the kitchen area, the electrician, Mr. Chucks, is flying solo today, and he's continuing to chip conduit rough ends for switches, for the light switches. This one he's working on here is for the bathroom in the middle. Our AC guys have returned. They got 5 guys with them today, and they're going to continue doing rough in on the copper tubing and electrical conduit for the units, and we'll show you that as they get moving. Coming around to the front, Mr. Jojo is continuing with the wall cladding, the stone wall cladding. One of the subscribers, you guys asked the other day about why doesn't he measure from the bottom of the window down to the floor where he's starting, so that he doesn't have that little strip underneath the window. I asked him about it yesterday. He said actually what they do is they measure from the top of the ceiling, where the bottom of the eave line is going to be, and work their way down from there, and then they work around the window. So this way the whole thing is even all the way up. This is a lot easier of a strip to cut than cutting all of the top piece all the way around. So the little small strip, big long strip. Little small strip wins. So he's continuing to work on that. Welders are up on top. They're still placing in some of this strapping here for the front porch hip roof. Still got the painter with the welders going by, and he's painting every piece of metal we've got on the roof line. You know, it's funny, back in the day when my previous lifetime, I was joking with my wife yesterday. I was telling her, I was like, that's the job we used to give to the guys that came in on to work and had a really bad hangover. We'd put them up on the worst job we had and put them out in the sun and make them sweat it out. So by the time noon came around, by the time it was time for lunch, they'd already sweat out their hangover, and they weren't thinking too wisely about doing that again the next day. So, okay, back to work here. Sorry, get old-fashioned reminiscing. Mr. Allen, our carpenter guy, is still working the fascia boards. You can see he's worked his way around the outside of the front porch and starting to continue down the front side of the front side of the house. Into the house. Let's go back into the Jack and Jill bath. Whoop, pardon me. They're getting these areas down to height that they need. So again, like we said, this area is going to be same height as the floor in the bedroom area, with a slight slope this way into the bath and shower room. This area here is going to have a 2-inch drop so that we make sure that all the water goes into the floor drain. Okay, so the AC guys have picked the largest room in the house, the living room and the breakfast nook combined, so that they can get a lot of space to be able to stretch out the copper tubing. And this is what they're using to take the coolant to and from the split unit on the inside. And they route it out with the electrical conduit combined to wherever the condensing unit is going to be on the outside. So here you can see about right here where the outside piece is going to be. So that's where the condensing unit's going to be for this unit here in the living room. It's going to be way over there off of the dirty kitchen. I'm trying to keep it all on the back side of the house. So this one's running that way. And they've got a couple more of these that they have to do here on the first floor, which are going to be in the bedroom 2, bedroom 3, and the office area. Then after that, they've got 2 that they have to place upstairs in the media room, directly above where we're at here in the living room. So it's going to be one that's over really close to the door, going into the attic storage space, and one on the other side of the dormer window. So the guys are getting set up here in the media room, getting their equipment together, getting ready. They're going to drill where the locations are going to be for the 2 units up here in the media room. One's going to be here on this side of the dormer window, and the other is going to be over here next to the door going out to the attic storage space. All right, let's go walk around this afternoon, see where everybody's at post lunch. Looks like we're still working on some of the AC. Okay, we got this guy coming out here. This is the conduit, or the refrigeration piping, coolant piping for the one in the dirty kitchen area. So the split unit in the dirty kitchen comes across and goes out here. This one is from the breakfast nook. This one is from the living room. And then upstairs, you can start to see where they've doing the drop now for the first one coming out of the media room. And on this side, they've already got the hole in place right here for the one on this side. And they're going to redo the drain line down that side and look similar to this over here as well. So they're working all that this afternoon. We'll take a look upstairs here in a moment, see what they're working on. Back up a little bit. The welders are continuing to work the roof line here for the dormer window area. So they're putting in some of the final pieces for the trusses. And the foreman finished his project earlier this morning for the top of the picture window. So this will all get painted later on when they get ready to do, after they put the picture window in and they get ready to paint the exterior of the building. This will get taken care of then as well. Whoop. All right, let's go look out front and see what the rest of the stone cladding looks like. Just immediately after, we take a look at, this is in the office, and they've already got the coolant piping plumbed out through the office to exit out into that corner. over by the master closet on the exterior of the building. Okay, oh, I can walk through my doorway. Nice. Let's step over some electrical cables coming out here. Let's take a look and see how far Mr. JoJo's coming with the stone cladding. Looking good. All evened up. Looking good. Nice randomized pattern. All right. The carpenter, Mr. Allen, is still continuing with the fascia here on the front. And again, a little further back, Mr. Jonah with the welders is continuing to do the paint job up on the top. All right, let's go take a look back in through bedroom number 3. We're putting in, oh yeah, we got some of the milky white substance in here, so that means we have termiticide. That's good because if you remember, if y'all go back to some of the earlier footage of when we were actually first digging out all the foundation walls in here, this area in the Jack and Jill bath area had some of the largest concentrations of termites underneath. So want to make sure they get a lot of good termiticide in here so that we don't have any of them coming up through the floors. Okay, so they're just about ready for concrete here. And if I hear it right in the background, I do hear the concrete mixer running. Let's take a look. They're getting rid of the old mortar that they were using. Looks like they're getting ready to mix concrete because let's see, that's sand. And then they've got the rock over there on the other side. They're pulling it over as well. They're gonna get ready to start making concrete for those 2 floors that we just showed you. All right, yes, I'm walking through a place that is not a hallway, no hallway. Okay, let's go upstairs, take a look at what these guys are doing. A couple of AC techs up here. All right, so they've got one installation done. So this is where we're going to have one of the AC units at. It's going to be right here. Yes, it is low on the wall, but our ceiling height is also low. And the next thing they're going to get ready to do, they've already got the hole drilled through, and they're going to put the other one over on this side. All right, so as I mentioned when I was walking around inside the house, they are mixing concrete for the for the bathroom area. Out here, Mr. Ben has finished this section here of the plaster coating. They're leaving it with a rough finish because they are going to come over the top of this with they're going to come over the top of this with the wall cladding that we showed you earlier with the fiber cement board. And he's getting ready now to come start working on this part here for some additional plaster coating. Mr. Jericho is also continuing to work this whole section here as well. Now over here on the side of the house, on the side of the fence, a couple carpenters over here are working the forms, and we're getting ready to form up these posts, the fence posts. This one, the rest of the way up, and the top half of these two here on the side of the fence line. So they got the outside portion formed up. They were getting ready to do the forms on the inside portion. So the carpenter helped this afternoon do a mock-up. Obviously this is not the roofing material that we're going to use. This is just a mock-up. So we have the fascia done here. You have the roofing coming from above. Then you have the gap. This gap right here is the hidden gutter system. So it's just going to look like a gap there. There will be like welded wire mesh or some type of a mesh wiring over the top of this opening so that we don't get a lot of leaves and rocks and anything, birds and anything else up in there. So it'll be really small gauge opening, kind of like really fine chicken wire, and that'll be placed in here so that we don't have all the debris inside the gutter system. And then it continues the other side. This little piece here is going to be the rest of the bottom piece of the soffit, bottom piece of the roof line as it goes around. So this is just a mock-up. They wanted to see they wanted the welder to see as well, because they haven't done a lot of these systems. What they did end up doing, they're adding in an additional purlin. I'm not sure if you can see it just yet. There is one right here at the edge that it is connecting to. Let me get a look from underneath. Ugh. Okay, so from underneath we have the roof line coming down. It laps over the edge of the gutter just a little bit, maybe about 2 inches. It looks like 2 to 3 inches. Then it has a big drop. This big drop right here, it's a 19-inch drop, 16-inch across, 12 inches back up to the top of the purlin. They have to add in this additional purlin here all the way around to support the rest of the roof, the roofing material right here. So that's just a mock-up of how it's supposed to look. The wiring they're looking at to put up there in the roofing system I was just showing you guys. We want something thin openings so you don't get a lot of leaves or other things going through, but the water is still able to drain. I'm hoping that it will be actually a little thicker gauge than this. This is very fine chicken wire, but we'll find something. I'm sure the engineers got something. Well, looks like we're doing the closing from the Kubo today. It started raining about 4 o'clock. The welders left shortly after. The air conditioning guys left after that. And the only people left on site were our regular labor crew. So they're just about getting ready to wrap up. It is now 4:35, so they've been working in the rain for a good 35 minutes, pouring the last bit of little concrete that they needed on some of these posts here behind the Kubo, as well as a little bit upstairs in the media room. Today, one of the things I wanted to make sure you guys saw was the hidden gutter systems mock-up. That was kind of important for both the welders to see it, for the carpenter to see what he needed to do with it, and then they left it in place so that when the tinsmith comes by, he as well as the engineer can take a look at it and say, okay, yeah, this is what it's actually going to look like in reality. That was a good thing to see in actuality happen today. The AC guys were here earlier today as well. Yabba dabba do time. The AC guys were here earlier as well, and they finished with all of the copper tubing and electrical plumbing that they needed to do for all of the units until we get finished and they actually come back in to do the actual installation of the blower units and the condensation units on the outside. So we won't see them probably for at least another month, maybe 2. Let's see, who else did we have here today? Oh, the guys up on the front of the house, Jojo doing the wall cladding. So we've got all 3 sections at least started, so you can kind of see what the front of the house is going to start to look like. Really coming together. I like the way it's starting to look. It's going to be a beautiful house when we're done. So that's pretty much it from the Kubo today. Alright, so if you liked today's video, please give us a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of these videos, hit the Casa TexPina star right over here on the side and you'll be subscribed. Hit the bell icon just below the view screen. You'll be subscribed and be notified of our next video upload for your viewing pleasure. So until we see you again tomorrow at the same bat time, same bat channel, have a great afternoon and God bless. That's all, folks.